Coming up next on This Week in Torrance, a local resident fears for his daughter in Oklahoma as an EF5 level tornado touches down. We've got the story.
Plus, it's an academic pentathlon showdown between 4th and 5th graders. We'll take you there.
Then, if a smile is worth 1,000 words, we'll show you a program that helps patients write novels.
And the Gateway to Torrance gets an official name and new look for its 100th birthday. These stories and much more are just seconds away.
Your local news starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to This Week in Torrance. I'm Chun.
And I'm Ben McCain. Thanks for joining us. Here are your top stories. The atrocities from the Oklahoma tornadoes hit home for a Torrance man praying for the safety of his daughter living there. Here's Deja Charles with the story.
William Bond is seeing his daughter's face for the very first time since she's moved to Oklahoma.
Now I can see you and talk to you.
I know.
Just can't touch you.
Born in Torrance, Bree Bond spent a lot of time in Oklahoma visiting her mother and grandparents who lived there. Now pursuing her master's at Oklahoma University, she didn't realize her town, Shawnee, would be spun away by a devastating tornado storm.
So I think the one that hit right by me was the F3 or an F4, which is, a little less than the one in Moore.
EF3 tornadoes go at winds as high as 160 miles per hour. The 2-mile-wide tornado that ran through Shawnee was just that. Bond says knowing he couldn't get to his daughter was hard, but she assured him she was safe.
She didn't call me at the front end, so, oh my gosh, what do I do? So that was good, because, being out here, being a father out here, what are you going to tell her? Well, pay attention to what the emergency services tell you to do out there,
Bond kept a close eye on the reports before finally getting word from his daughter.
I talked to her on Monday and found out that she was okay and that they had went to a shelter.
It was her grandfather's underground storm shelter that housed Bree and neighbors for 45 minutes. She says it was social media that kept her posted on what was going on right above her.
And then I got a lot of information on Facebook because either people are posting like, hey, the tornado went through, or this is what Channel 4 or 9 said.
She also witnessed heartache as some with her first found out about their homes being destroyed.
We were in the cellar and people were getting calls like, oh, my house is gone. That's what they told me. And they lived like a mile from us. So when we got out, we weren't even sure if we'd have a house.
Luckily for her family, her grandfather's shed and hail dents on her car were the only things damaged.
I think I have around 100. Honestly, it's all everywhere.
So you have a textured finish now on your car.
Yep, to match the scratches.
Bond's wife, Rebecca, says although she and her husband were concerned, Bree has always reassured them she could take care of herself.
She's always been a little cautious early on in life, and she was able to assess when things didn't look right or didn't feel right, and she could pretty much make a conservative decision, and that was what we were hoping she would do.
As for her father, he just wants his little girl to know she'll always have a place to call home.
You're always welcome out here in Torrance, where I miss you, and there's a lot of people out here that miss you.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Deja Charles.
Okay.
Thanks, Deja. It's stories like this that show how the tragedy in Oklahoma ripples across the nation. Back at home in Torrance, we have many resources to assist in recovery, and a local company has already begun to do their part.
That's right, Ben. Honda in Torrance is contributing in many ways, offering relief efforts for the recent tornado that tore across the Midwest. They donated $100,000 to the American Red Cross Disaster Relief Fund, and Honda portable generators are being donated to local relief agencies to aid in recovery and rebuilding efforts. American Honda Finance Corporation is providing relief to customers directly affected by the storms by allowing extensions on loan payments, waivers of late charges, and other services. Now, Honda has a long history of helping the Red Cross in times of need, and here are a few ways you can do your part. Participating agencies include redcross.org. You can reach them at 800-RED-CROSS, SalvationArmyUSA.org at 1-800-SAL-ARMY, and feedthechildren.org at 800-627-4556. And SaveTheChildren.org. You can reach them at 1-800-728 3843. Now, these are just a few resources to contact if you'd like to provide relief and support for the survivors of the devastating tornadoes in Oklahoma.
Memorial Day is a time to honor and remember our fallen soldiers. Local families and friends did just that with the help of the Torrance Historical Society. Reporter Juanita Adami has more on the story.
For the second year in a row, a name reading ceremony was held on Memorial Day to honor fallen soldiers.
It started as a centennial celebration last year, but it was such a great success, and we thought it was a simple ceremony that paid our respects to these men.
At the corner of Torrance Boulevard and Maple Avenue, veterans, police, and fire personnel, along with Torrance officials and residents, listened as each name on the Torrance Memorial Wall were read one by one.
Ralph Brightfield, Kenneth Brooks.
Anybody that has lived in the city of Torrance that has given their lives is up there. World War II, Korea, Vietnam. Unfortunately, we've got 3 names that were put up a year and a half ago, and really worse than that, there will be names put up in the future.
Daniel Albert Dye is a Vietnam veteran who attended the name reading ceremony. He was moved to tears remembering some of his close friends lost in battle.
I just want to honor some of the people that I knew that were lost in Vietnam. It means a lot to me.
Several veterans each took turns reading through the list of over 140 names engraved on the wall. Following the ceremony, a moment of silence and prayer was led by Historical Society President Kurt Weidman.
Your presence here today respects these soldiers and shows your deep appreciation for those who served and sacrificed their lives for their country and our freedom.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Juanita Adame.
A documentary about the soldiers' lives was shown at the Historical Society. If you would like more information, you can call this number, 310-328-5392.
Great news for the Southern California Regional Occupational Program known as SoCalRock here in Torrance. The program may not be closing as feared, at least for 2 more years. Earlier this year, the organization scrambled to save itself when it appeared it would be a victim of Governor Jerry Brown's proposal to change the way schools in California are funded. Originally, the budget for SoCalRock was zeroed out, which would have caused it to cease operations at the end of June. Well, thanks to supporters of the 46-year-old school and the aid of legislators like Assemblyman Al Muratsuchi and State Senator Ted Lieu, Brown made a revision to his budget that included funding for another 2 years. Now, keep in mind that this is only a proposal to the budget and that it still needs approval from both chambers of state legislature by June 30th. While this is likely to happen, Muratsuchi points out it's still too early to declare victory and hopes to stretch the 2 proposed years indefinitely with Bill 1214, which he authored. For more information and to see how you can help save SoCalRock, visit scroc.com.
Coming up, a local program helps those in need get a smile for a lifetime.
And Torrance is ranking in the academic achievements from elementary through high school. We'll tell you all about it when we come back.
You should become a mentor because a lot of our kids really need you.
My mentor is a great person.
I just love helping children.
You should become a mentor because it will be great for kids and great for you. You will enjoy it and your kids will enjoy it. All you need to do is come in, sign up, and you'll be on your way. Mentoring works. Become a mentor.
Elementary school students from all across Torrance gathered at West High School and battled against one another in an academic competition. Reporter Jennifer Hua has more on the story.
4th and 5th grade students showcased their intelligence in this year's 4th annual elementary school academic pentathlon.
It's an academic decathlon type event with a whole bunch of elementary school kids answering questions concerning math, English, social studies, such things as that.
The event, sponsored by the Torrance Rotary Club, began a few years ago as a friendly competition between GATE program students from Towers and Victor Elementary School. But over the years, the contest has grown.
Other schools got involved, and then this year we have 7 schools for a total of 84 students. So it went from about 12 kids to 84 kids in 3 years.
More involvement from different schools meant more competition for each team. Some teachers worked hard with their students to make sure they were well prepared.
We met once a week in class for about an hour, and I prepared some questions basically from the California release questions from the CST tests, and we go over those in class.
Even after months of studying, students still weren't quite sure what to expect.
We practice, but it's kind of hard because you don't know the questions that they're going to give you. So we practice, and occasionally maybe a question could pop up.
A trophy may have been up for grabs, but the real point in the contest wasn't just to win.
They were nervous beforehand, but in checking tonight in the intermissions, they're having a lot of fun. And that's the important part.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Jennifer Hua.
Victor Elementary School ended up winning the competition and received a trophy provided by the Torrance Rotary Club. The club also made donations to the West High School decathlon team.
Academic excellence continues to show in Torrance, this time a few grades up, when the West High Warriors celebrated their Achievement Awards program. Here to tell us more is reporter Juanita Adame.
West High School is a school filled with smart kids who mean business when it comes to their education.
It's really competitive here too, and then with competitiveness, you just kind of want to get in there and fight back,
And fight back he did. Abdul Hadi Khan managed to climb his way through a fairly long list of overachievers and take the Warriors' top honor.
And our valedictorian, Abdul Hadi Khan.
Abdul recognizes that none of what he has achieved has come easy. He struggled in English class, but says he didn't let that stop him.
Freshman year, I had like 4 honors. Sophomore year, I had 4 honors and 1 AP. And, looking back on it, it was actually pretty grueling.
His mother, Zainab, says strict bedtime schedules, trips to the library, and their overall emphasis on learning was always a priority for Abdul when he was young.
Very disciplined, organized, and a good son, a good kid.
Abdul's family is from Pakistan. He is a first-generation American, and the diversity at West High is something he really appreciates.
And we have a bigger Asian population and quite a big Latino and African American population.
Abdul plans to attend UCLA in the fall. He wants to major in molecular biology and chemistry. His goal is to become a doctor like his dad. As for the strict schedule at home, his mom says she's eased up on him this year.
I said, okay, you are on track. You are all set to go.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Juanita Adame.
Thanks, Juanita. The West High Achievement Awards program also recognized students in athletics, academics, service, and leadership departments.
The remaining Torrance high schools have announced their valedictorians to join Abdul from West High. They are Stephanie Allen from North, Victoria Petrova from South High, Amanda Wong from Torrance. Bishop Montgomery had an amazing 7 students with GPAs over 4.5 to qualify as valedictorians. They are Denise Balandras, Lisa Bell, Melissa Delalon, Lauren Hugo, Danny Lee, Adriana Martin, and Stephen Missack. I was also an honor student. Yes, Your Honor. No, Your Honor. No. Congratulations to those youngsters who earned that great honor.
Well, it takes one smile to brighten up the day, and that's exactly what one young man is about to receive. Here's Deja Charles with the story.
A smile is the first sign of happiness, and Jose Sanchez's new grin will be priceless.
And today what it means, getting braces, is it's a blessing because my parents couldn't afford it, and all this is being done through a special program.
Smile for a Lifetime is a nonprofit organization that provides orthodontic care to lower-income families. Sanchez was chosen as the premier recipient, which grants him full orthodontic treatment and maintenance free of charge.
Chun, a good buddy of mine, he told me about it. He told me that they were looking for a candidate. Gave me some paperwork, came in, did an evaluation, and the doctor said I was the one.
It is through orthodontist Brian Noguchi that Sanchez will be receiving his treatment. The Torrance-based orthodontic office joined Smile for a Lifetime in 2010, once Noguchi saw the kind of happiness his services could bring to a community that otherwise would not be able to afford it.
After they finish with our treatment, they always smile just ear to ear, and they're so happy. And I want more people to participate in that joy.
Sanchez joins in this joy for many reasons along with the braces treatment. The Banning High senior will be starting his first term of college at UC Santa Barbara this coming fall. His mentor, Chad Mayer, couldn't be more proud.
And as far as somebody that's a recipient of Smile for a Lifetime, I can't think of a better candidate than Jose Sanchez.
Noguchi says to his patients, a smile is more than just straight teeth, but the beginning of a successful lifetime.
Smile is just a vehicle for the personal success that we instill, sort of. And that's what I really enjoy being part of.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Deja Charles.
Smile for a Lifetime chooses 3 recipients a year for the Premier Scholarship. The next recipient will be announced in the fall.
Coming up after the break, a historic landmark gets a new name and a facelift just in time for its 100th birthday.
Welcome to Cook It Safe Challenge, where teams compete to make the right decisions about safe food preparations. Our challenge in this round, read and follow packaged cooking instructions and use a food thermometer. Let's see how our teams are doing so far. Team 1.
We just got 100 points. We separated our raw food from our cooked food.
Team 2.
We got a 100-point green card for proper hand washing before our meal prep.
We've reached a critical safety point in the challenge. Okay, Team 1, let's check this out. Uh-oh, not a safe internal temperature for those hamburgers. That puts everyone at high risk for foodborne illness. You get a red card, undercooked. Always read and follow the packaged cooking instructions and use a food thermometer. Let's see how our winning team cooked it safe and avoided problems.
Well, I just kept focused on the 4 food safety steps: clean, separate, cook, and chill.
And we followed the packaged cooking instructions and took the temperature.
Can you cook it safe?
The City of Torrance is hosting a blood drive through the Red Cross on Tuesday, June 11th at the Ken Miller Recreation Center. Please consider donating blood and help save a life. You can either make an appointment by going to the website redcrossblood.org or by calling 310-618-2960 to schedule an appointment. You will also receive a voucher for 2 tickets to see the LA Galaxy play and free tacos at Wahoo's. Now let's go out to the sports desk where Juan Hernandez has a preview of what's to come.
Juan, what do you have for us?
Hi, Jen and Ben. Great to see you as always. And hey, thanks for checking in with us. So, I know you want to see what we've got coming up this week on the sports desk. Take a look. How much would you spend to own a piece of Los Angeles Lakers history? How about when I tell you the price tag is actually next to nothing and you could help a good cause along the way? You might be a little surprised. And right here in Torrance, the little ones are getting a chance to take part in a sport most won't be exposed to until high school. Find out how getting a head start on the track is going to help all young athletes around the South Bay. All that's coming up this week on the Sports Desk and more. If you want to catch it all, be sure to check us out every day right here on CitiCABLE 3 at 4 p.m. and 9:30 p.m. See you then.
Thanks, Juan. Now with an official name and a new look, the community and city officials gathered in celebration of a Torrance icon's 100th birthday. Shannon Murphy has the story.
The rehabilitation project on what is commonly referred to as the Torrance Bridge is complete. And perhaps more importantly, it now has an official new name.
It's a Pacific Electric Railway El Prado Bridge. Is an icon. It's the biggest icon we have in the city, and it was so important to get it back and restore it. And it took a long time, a lot of work, many people, as they said today, but it was something that just had to be done.
The naming of the bridge wasn't an easy task for such an important icon.
The name was difficult to come up with, and you know, a lot of people have difference of opinion how we should have named it, and some people thought it should be Torrance Bridge and so forth, but this is a true compromise, and I think it made a lot of people happy to name it this, and so here we are.
As the bridge turns 100 this year, the new name comes from its rich history here in Torrance.
The name of the bridge comes from the original company that built the bridge, the Pacific Electric Railway Company, and before Torrance Boulevard was actually Torrance Boulevard, it was called El Prado.
With its new name intact, the Torrance community gathered at Torrance Center South for the naming and celebration of all the work that's been done to it. The rehabilitation was not an easy task, as it had to meet strict guidelines for historical preservation.
Our involvement was focusing on making sure that the work was consistent with a set of federal standards called the Secretary of the Interior Standards for Rehabilitation. And really our concern was to make sure that the character of the bridge was preserved while addressing areas that needed work, like the cracks and spalls, and removing the vines that were trapping moisture against the bridge and causing further deterioration.
While some miss the look of the vines, they are quite pleased with the outcome of the project.
It looks very nice. I do miss the ivy a little bit. It kind of gave it that homey feel, but it looks very clean and functional.
Ironically, removing the ivy not only exposed the most damage that needed to be repaired, but it also allowed it to return to its original look.
Removing them also allowed us to clean the bridge and remove many layers of graffiti and paint that had been added. So what we get to see now is really a clean bridge with its original concrete surface showing, which is the way that Irving Gill intended it to be seen.
A new name, a new look, a perfect fitting for the gateway to Torrance.
I just want to say that bridges connect places, they connect people, and this is a historical structure, and I'm really glad to see it being rehabilitated and kind of bringing the community together.
For This Week in Torrance, I'm Shannon Murphy.
Thanks, Shannon. It took nearly a year and a half from conception to completion for the project, and as the 100th birthday of the bridge is celebrated, officials are confident the work will be good for at least another 100 years. Well, that's going to do it for us on This Week in Torrance. I'm Ben McCain.
And I'm Chun. If you've missed any portion of our show, you can catch us again at 11 a.m. and 6 p.m. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.